A very warm welcome to everybody. My name is Nonku, and I'm delighted to be your host for today's session as we unpack the exciting new developments in our Impro Primo journey. Thank you for taking the time to join us. We're looking forward to spending the next hour or so with you. Today is all about showcasing the latest version of Primo and the powerful integrations that make it even more adaptable, scalable, and relevant to your security needs. Before we begin, just a few housekeeping notes. Please use the Q&A function for any questions that you may have. Rania and Duran will be on standby to respond to as many questions as they possibly can during the session. If we do have enough time, we will answer the rest of the questions in the Q&A intervals. Otherwise, we will respond to individuals after the session. We will also schedule the on-demand webinar, so those who are not able to attend will be given another opportunity to watch the recording of the webinar. We are also live on YouTube, so if there are any glitches on the GoTo platform, you're more than welcome to switch your viewership. I will ask my colleagues to place the link on the chat folder for YouTube. Some of the key highlights you can look forward to in today's session include the launch of our cloud-hosted solution, a security password policy for enhanced protection, and the support for the new HID Amico readers, and lastly, the introduction of the Impro installer, which is designed to simplify and streamline wireless installations. Before we get to our amazing speakers, I'd like to call on Giles, who's our MD, to grace us with a few words. I'm handing over to you, Giles.
Hello, everyone. Good afternoon and welcome. I don't know what's worse, the video of me or the picture of me, but anyway. As I say, welcome. So, I mean, it's really hard to believe that it's just under 2 years since we introduced Primo to our partner network. In that time, we've stayed true to our commitment of delivering quality updates. We've had 6 releases so far, and each of those releases have been packed with new features and all designed in Primo's signature fresh and simple user UX or style, as you may call it. The most recent update was a very big one. We launched support for our mobile reader, which was unique in its ability because it offers support for 2 credentialed brands with 2 payment options. This flexibility is actually a game changer, especially for small and medium enterprises, making it easier for our partners to sell and support mobile access solutions. But today marks an even bigger milestone. Impro has been known for a very long time for delivering on-premise access control solutions. It's what we've been known for, and it's what we've done exceptionally well. But today we take a bold step forward. We're excited to introduce our cloud solution. It's a new offering that allows our partners to host their own access control environments. This isn't just a product launch, it's a shift in how we empower our partners to engage more deeply with your customers. It opens up new opportunities to provide hosting services alongside our products, creating stronger, more integrated relationships. We believe this evolution will strengthen our partner network and unlock new value for everyone involved. So thanks for joining us today. Let's dive in, and I'll hand over to the team.
Thank you, Giles. Right, before we get started, I'd like to introduce the expert voices joining us today. We will kick off with Impro's product owner, Hamish. Hamish has been at the forefront of developing Primo, and today he'll walk us through the new features in this latest release. Next, I'd like to welcome Linda Gleeman, HID's Business Development Manager. With her expertise in global access solutions, Linda will be taking us through the support of the new HID Amico readers and what it means for your access control solutions. And finally, we have Laszlo from our global parent company, Asa Abloy. He will be taking us through the introduction of Impro installer. Without any further ado, please relax and enjoy this time with us. Hamish, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Nonku. So hello to everybody who's listening. The big news obviously today is that Primo is now cloud compatible. So it still works as an on-premise solution, but now you can offer customers a cloud solution as well. But what does it mean to run your access control system in the cloud? Traditionally, with an on-premise setup, your server and database live on-site inside your local network, and the controllers talk to the server over that same local network. It's fast, it's secure, and it's self-contained. With this cloud-based setup, the server and database are hosted off-site on a virtual machine in a data center like Microsoft Azure or Amazon Web Services. The controllers sit on your premises still, and they communicate over the internet to the server. So why would you want to go cloud? Well, for end customers, for starters, there are no more server headaches. There's no need to install or maintain on-site servers or databases. There's no more worrying about server upgrades or future scalability. Cloud systems grow with you. Then you can access from anywhere, whether you're at home, in the office, halfway around the world, you can securely manage your system remotely. There's also built-in resilience. Cloud infrastructure provides guaranteed uptime that far exceeds typical uptime on a local deployment. There's also security by design. Cloud platforms are built with security as a very high priority. So your data is protected with enterprise-grade tools and practices. Then for installers, as well as customers with multiple sites in their system, there's centralized control. You can manage multiple remote sites from a single interface. Assign permissions, monitor activity, respond to events in real time, no matter where the sites are. For installers and distributors, there are new business models. Cloud hosting opens the door to annual licensing and subscription-based offerings, making it easier to build recurring revenue. And then we will implement flexible deployment options. So you can choose what works best. You can host it yourself. You can let Impro host it, either as an enterprise or an SMB solution. So you've got choices in that regard. So Primo 2025.2 is cloud compatible. But what does cloud compatible mean? One may think that having a cloud-based system is as simple as installing Primo on a cloud-based server. But consider the diagram on the left, where you simply take an on-premise solution and place the server and database in the cloud. There are several difficulties with this approach. The first is complexity. The Primo system has used basic UDP messaging over a fixed port to communicate with controllers until now. Hosting it in the cloud requires IT teams to manually configure firewalls and open inbound ports, something that many are understandably reluctant to do due to the complexity and the security risks involved. So this often leads to delays, misconfigurations, or even blocked deployments. Then, in terms of security, when communication moves from your local network to the internet, it becomes more exposed to the risk of cyber attacks. And in access control, security is key. If someone can intercept or tamper with that communication, it undermines the whole point of the system. And finally, cost. On a local network, data flows freely, but over the internet, every byte counts, and cloud providers charge for that data transfer. So that's why Primo 2025.2 being cloud compatible is more than just ticking a box. So referring to the diagram on the right, you've got simplified deployment. UDP messaging over a fixed port has been replaced by encrypted, certificate authenticated MQTT communication using standard outbound connections like a web browser. So there's no need for custom port rules or risky firewall exceptions. And this not only streamlines implementation and IT approvals, but it also aligns with modern security best practices, offering a safer, faster and more robust solution. We've implemented Transport Layer Security, or TLS, version 1.2, a widely adopted and highly secure encryption standard to protect data between your cloud server and the on-site controllers. And then finally, on the latest release, we have streamlined communication between the server and controllers to keep data usage low, so you get the performance you expect without the surprise bill. So let's take a closer look at how this has been implemented. The latest release of Primo has a message broker, or MQTT broker, as part of the system. You can see it highlighted in green. Conceptually, the message broker sits between the server and the controllers, and it performs several functions. Firstly, it provides a single point of contact for both the server and all the controllers in the system. All server controller communication is sent to the central point. It also directs traffic. It knows which messages to send to whom. The message broker also queues messages, ensuring that they are not lost before being sent. And finally, it ensures delivery of every message. By providing these functions, the message broker overcomes several challenges posed by communicating over the internet, and it ensures that the system communicates reliably like it would in an on-premise solution. So the Mosquito MQTT broker is bundled with Primo 2025.2 in the build. It can be installed as an additional setup in the Primo installation process. You do not have to use this Mosquito brand of message broker, however. It's there for your convenience, but you can install your own choice of MQTT broker instead. Once installed, you will see the MQTT message broker account under Account Settings in the Primo web client. You can manage account settings and test them to ensure that the service has been configured correctly from this view. So the message broker simplifies the system setup to allow controllers to communicate with the server over the internet. However, this communication over the internet is still exposed to significant cybersecurity risks. Primo overcomes these by implementing TLS 1.2 encryption standard on the controllers and server. The TLS 1.2 standard requires authentication and encryption. The first communication between server and controller is initiated by an exchange of certificates. You can think of a certificate as a digital ID. In the same way as an ID is issued by a government to a citizen, certificates are issued by a certificate authority, or CA, and applied to a controller or server. The certificate allows the controller or server to establish that they are indeed who they claim to be. This certificate is a reliable form of authentication because it was issued by a trusted certificate authority. So this is the authentication step, establishing trust between the two communicating parties. And once the trust is established between the controller and the server, an encryption key exchange occurs. Very simply, the encryption keys enable both parties to encrypt messages before sending, and they also allow the decryption of messages received on the other end. This combination of authentication and encryption ensures that data is transmitted privately without theft, loss, or modification by a third party. So for convenience, Primo has a certificate authority built in. allowing users to generate self-signed certificates. The certificate authority allows you to generate different types of certificates for each of the elements in the Primo system. You will need to generate certificates for each of the controllers, as well as the web server and all the other parts of the system that communicate via TLS 1.2. Once generated, the certificates can be exported to a known location for later use. As an alternative to using Primo's built-in certificate authority, users can choose to source their own certificates from a trusted third-party CA. The firmware upgrade utility is used to upload certificates to the controllers. A new tab has been added for certificate management. So selecting a controller from the list, you can browse to the certificate that you created or generated for this controller and select it. Once you have the required certificate, you can send it to the controller. The final step is to go to the Network tab and enable TLS for that controller. The controller will then reboot and thereafter will have a secure encrypted connection to the Primo server. Selecting a controller in the Primo web client, you will now see a new Security tab allowing you to manage certificate and security details for that controller. There's also an audit log showing the security activity for the controller. So, Primo 2025.2 is cloud compatible. It's optimized to be used for on-premise or cloud-based solutions. But having cloud-compatible software is just one part of running your access control system in the cloud. The other part is how and where that software and its database is hosted. So we have chosen to decouple the software from this hosting for a couple of key reasons. For starters, we want to retain simple, predictable licensing. So Primo's licensing remains straightforward. Hosting options don't complicate the software license. So that just keeps things clean and easy to manage. And the second reason is we want to offer flexible hosting options. So different customers have different needs. By separating hosting from the software, we can offer tailored solutions that suit everything from small sites to large enterprises, ensuring fair pricing and performance across the board. So let's take a look at the hosting options available. So first, you've got self-hosting, which is the hosting option that is going to be available with this release of Primo. Partners and customers can host their own Primo instance, giving them full control over infrastructure, data, and security. So it's ideal for those with existing IT capacity or specific compliance requirements. Then the next thing will be Impro Enterprise Hosting, which will be made available with the next release of Primo that follows this one. This gives fully managed secure hosting by Impro. It's perfect for large multi-site organizations that need high uptime, high performance, and peace of mind. And finally, Impro SMB hosting will be provided as a hosting option provisionally scheduled for Q1 of 2026. This is cost-effective, multi-tenant hosting designed for small sites. It's great for residential complexes, schools, dealerships, and smaller commercial installations. It simplifies remote management and opens up recurring revenue opportunities. So you will note that the cloud-compatible Primo 2025.2 release supports the distributed controller and the cluster controller. In the following release, version 2025.3, will add support for the enterprise controllers. Support for biometric integrations is restricted to on-premise deployments in this release of Primo. However, cloud support for biometric integrations is a key element of our 2026 development roadmap. So that is Primo Cloud. I hope you will see the exciting opportunities that this new release opens up. The new software will be available for download from Monday, the 1st of September. Thank you to Linda Gleeman, who is a business development manager at HID.
Today I'm going to introduce you to the HID Amico facial biometric reader. HID is a technology enabler that has been providing secure access control, readers and credentials to the market for more than 25 years. Trusted by leading organizations, governments, universities globally, HID is a leader in enabling trusted identity solutions. So welcome to HID Amico. We are very excited to be launching the HID Amico facial biometric reader. This is addressing the need for stronger protection and flexible access. And what we mean by flexible access is that this reader will have 5 authentication methods on one device. The reader offers superior performance with precision, facial recognition, and face liveliness detection and anti-spoofing protection. It is powered by Paravision's AI algorithm, ranking in the global top 10 by NIST, and typically plays in the top 3. Minimize false rejection and delays, which we know is critical for high traffic areas. It supports OSDP, WIGAN, Power over Ethernet for quicker and more cost-effective installations. Something to take note of, a biometric template can be on the reader, but it can also reside on the credential, allowing for one-to-one authentication. Some of the key features of the reader. Now, there are 2 readers. There's the 3.5-inch and the 7-inch. The only difference between the 2 devices is that the 7-inch supports SIP intercom. The exciting part about the Amico readers is that Impro Primo has completed its integration, which Hamish will take you through a bit later. Let's have a look at what we mean by the 5 multi-factor authentication methods. We talk about face, mobile, card, QR code, and PIN. So that the reader is handling 5 credential types in one reader. This makes it extremely flexible. It supports dual-factor authentication, IP65 rated, but do remember that any facial reader should be shielded from direct sunlight. When we look at the capacity of the HID Amico reader, the 3.5-inch supports 10,000 facial templates as a standard and can be unlocked to 50,000 or 100,000. On the 7-inch, it supports 50,000 templates as a standard and can be unlocked to 100,000. The credential technology that it supports, in other words, what card types does it read? It reads CIOS, iClass, iClass SE, ISO 14443A, MyFair and CSN, ISO 14443B, CSN, DESFire, EV1, 2 and 3, EV1 in compatibility mode, and HID procs. Then the identification even with 10,000 templates or more, is in a matching speed of 0.2 seconds. The next thing we have with this reader is that it has two cameras, being both visible light and infrared light, meaning that the camera can actually operate in the dark. In terms of QR codes, which is used typically with visitor management solutions today, it can read both a static and a dynamic QR code. So this prevents clients from having to have a separate QR code reader for visitor management. When we look at the 7-inch, as I mentioned earlier, it's obviously a bigger reader because it needs to house all the components required for an integrated SIP intercom: buzzer, speaker, audio line in and out. Then from installation options, when we talk about wiring of an Amico reader, there are 3 options available. The first being standalone. This is a standalone door, single door entry, uses the external access module, known as an EAM, to connect the relays to the door. The second option is connecting it to an Impro door controller via OSDP. And the third wiring option is connecting it to an Impro door controller with Wiegand communication. It would require the extended access module to be connected for Wiegand in and out. So then we come to the point of this reader. As we know, the face reader, it's very exciting. We're excited to launch it. We know that it is currently undergoing the, sorry, before I go there, it is currently undergoing ICASA certification, and we believe that it will be launched the first week of November. We are very confident that the ICASA certification will be completed for the 3.5-inch and for the 7-inch in the early first quarter of 2026. So we know that we also have the ability for mobile. And today we talk about why mobile. It's just a little reminder about why many clients are going the route of using mobile credentials. HID Mobile has grown exceptionally. We have over 6 million people globally using mobile credentials, especially in the financial, in the financial markets, higher education, and commercial real estate. When we look at some of those benefits, and this we're just touching on 3 benefits today, the one is user convenience. You always have your mobile phone on you. We don't leave our mobile phones at home. If we left a card at home, we would still go to the office, but you certainly are going to turn around in the traffic to fetch your mobile device. From a user or operational efficiency point for an organization, it is over-the-air provisioning of mobile credentials. There's no coming to the office to get your card, enroll your photo, and also when we talk about higher education, those long queues at the beginning of each year. Then we know that mobile delivers a very high level of security. It is supported by the HID CR secure technology. You cannot copy a mobile credential. You cannot transfer a credential to a new phone, therefore providing a very high level of security. Then I will just end off with just a small video, what we call in the day in the life of mobile access. So here are some key resources, links to key resources for HID. One I'd really like to highlight is the HID Free Training Academy. This is available to anyone in the market who would like to learn more about the HID products. Please feel free to contact me if you're not sure how to access the Free Training Academy. And you are also welcome at any stage to contact me for further information on any of the HID products, and especially on the future of HID, the Amico reader. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Linda. So I'm going to follow on from Linda, and with the Amico integration that we have done. So as you can imagine, the Amico reader, with its combination of facial biometric, mobile credentials, time and attendance, and QR code support fits very well with Primo. The mobile credential support dovetails nicely with the new Impro MDRSE mobile reader. So you could, for instance, have the Amico biometric readers controlling the high security areas on your site, while the MDRSE mobile readers are providing access on the other doors. And they would all be using the same HID mobile credentials. So we've developed the typical tight integration with the Amico readers that you may have become accustomed to in Primo, where everything is done from within the web client. So this includes the discovery and installation, the licensing, device configuration, the enrollment, as well as reporting. So your user experience is a truly seamless integration, and it comes with a typical focus on simplicity and usability. You can choose to discover your Amico readers by scanning your whole network, a subnet, or even a single IP address. The discovered readers are then populated into a neatly listed table view, and intuitive icons conveniently show the status of each reader in the list, whether offline, unlicensed, or fully installed and operational, etc. Configuring your readers is just as straightforward. We make use of presets. These are templates that define how a group of readers should behave. So instead of configuring each device individually, you can make changes once and apply them across multiple readers. When a new device is installed, it is automatically assigned to a default preset. So it's fully operational from the get-go. And then you can either make a copy of the default preset and make changes to the behavior to match your requirements, or you can choose to edit the default preset itself. Amico's readers enrollment is handled through Primo's step-by-step wizard, which is designed to be easy to follow. The user is guided through one decision at a time, making the process smooth and intuitive. A webcam is used to do the Amico enrollment, and the system checks the quality of the biometric data before completing the enrollment, so you know that it's accurate. Once enrolled, users can authenticate using a variety of methods: face, mobile credential, QR code, card, or PIN. And if you need extra security, multi-factor options like face plus PIN are also supported. And then finally, Primo gives you visibility into what's happening on each reader. You can see exactly how many biometric templates are stored on a device and how many there should be. It's a simple way to verify that everything has been uploaded correctly and that your devices are operating as expected. So next, we are going to play a short video showing you the Amico reader integration in operation.
In its partnership with HID, Impro has added the HID Amico reader to its list of integrated biometric readers compatible with our Primo access control solution. In this video, we will take you through the process of installing, licensing, enrollment and configuration of the HID Amico RFID, face and mobile reader on your Primo software. Step 1. Installation. Begin by installing the reader. Navigate to the hardware menu. Select the Biometrics tab and choose to either add new or install your new device. In the Install wizard, select the HID Amico brand. If the device does not appear automatically, use the Scan Subnet or Advanced Scan to locate the device on your network. The summary page will provide a breakdown of your selected options. Choose Install to continue. When installed, your new device will have an unknown status briefly, which will update to unlicensed while it awaits its Impro unlock. Step 2. Licensing your reader. Select the License tab, then choose a file. Navigate to the license you received from your distributor. Once the license has been imported, the device status will update to online. Step 3. Enrollment. The Amico reader uses the standard enrollment wizard. The reader supports mobile and RFID credentials. Here, Enroll Face is selected to capture a new facial template. Enrollment is done via HID webcam. Your computer webcam will pick up the enrollment and display a preview of the captured image. Select a device from the list. Primo will then use this device to validate the captured credential template quality and alignment for use on all HID Amico readers installed on your site. The validation occurs after the summary. If the template fails the validation process, it will prompt you to recapture. To assign the tag code to your new credential, you can select either a random personal access code or PAC, or you can link it with an already enrolled tag code. In the card section, you can further define the parameters of your credential by adjusting its status as well as applying start and expiry restrictions. Once complete, the summary page will display all the details for the newly captured credential. If all is correct, use the Confirm option to save. The final step, configuration. The HID Amico is a multi-purpose reader with RFID, face, and mobile capabilities. The outputs from these various authentication methods can be edited in the biometric presets. When installed, new devices will automatically be assigned to the default Amico preset. On the Details page, you can select the RFID, face, PIN, or QR code authentication modes. You may also configure multi-factor authentication requiring 2 or more authentication modes. Reviewing the Face tab, you can edit the device brightness as well as the camera field of view. Under the Wiegand settings, you can make changes to the device output as well as the Wiegand bitrate. Your Amico reader can also be set up as a time and attendance station using the Primo built-in time and attendance feature. Using the time and attendance feature allows you to change the on-screen button configurations and outputs that will be displayed in your time and attendance report. Much like the Wiegand configurations, your Amico reader can also be used with OSDP. Use the OSDP menu to make changes to the device baud rate and output formats. This guide walked you through adding and configuring a new HID Amico reader on your Primo software, focusing on installation, enrollment, and biometric presets. Thank you for watching.
So, cybersecurity threats are becoming more frequent and sophisticated, and protecting access to your systems is more important than ever. So that's why in this latest release of Primo, we've introduced a powerful new feature focused on strengthening operator login security. With the new password policy settings, system administrators can now define and enforce rules for operator passwords, ensuring that they meet your organization's security standards. So whether it's setting minimum password lengths, requiring special characters, or enforcing regular password changes, you now have full control over how secure operator credentials need to be. So it's a simple but important step towards making your access control environment more resilient against unauthorized access. So with that, let's take a look at the password policy feature in action in the Primo software. We'll play a little video to demonstrate that.
A password policy is a set of rules that dictates how users should create, manage, and use passwords within an organization or system. These rules aim to enhance security by encouraging strong passwords and proper password handling practices, minimizing the risk of unauthorized access. By enforcing strong password practices, organizations can mitigate the risk of password-related security breaches. To edit and change the password policy in your Primo software, navigate to the configuration menu and select the security policies menu item. New operators will be assigned to the default user security policy. You can further create and edit additional policies for different tiers of operator logins. Use the Add icon to create a new security policy. Customization of your security policy can be done within each profile. Passwords can be enforced using protocols such as uppercase and lowercase. The use of special characters and numerical values can also be implemented in the password criteria. Password validation periods and renewal is another key feature in creating a secure policy. By enabling the password lifetime function, you can dictate how long a password is valid for. You can also set the password length to increase its security complexity. The system can be set to prevent the reuse of old passwords. The password remembered field controls how far back the system checks before allowing a password to be used. Another important feature is the first password change. This can be set for new operators to enforce a password change on their first login. From the Members tab, you will find a list of all operators currently assigned to a specific security policy. Using the Manage icon, you can add or remove users from a particular profile. Use the tick box next to each user to add or remove them from a certain profile. Save by selecting the Submit option. Organizations should balance security requirements with user experience to avoid making passwords too cumbersome. Regularly reviewing and updating the password policy is crucial to adapt to evolving security threats. Thank you for watching.
Right, that concludes all the features in the latest Primo release that I wanted to share with you today, but we aren't finished yet. We have another guest speaker presenting with us today. Laszlo is product manager at Assa Abloy for the Apereo range of products. So Laszlo is going to be introducing a new Apereo tool used for commissioning and preparing Apereo devices. So hello Laszlo, and a warm welcome to you. And I'm going to hand over to you now.
But anyway, I will just activate to say hello to everyone, because I'm afraid the bandwidth will be not enough for the whole, so I will just say hello now. Nice to meet you all. My name is László Solymosi, as mentioned by Hamish, introduced. I'm a product manager of the Assa Abloy EMEA Digital and Access Solution Business Unit, and I present to you today our new configuration software tool, Apereo Installer. And as a start, I would like you to watch a video about it. Well, let me share my screen. Welcome back from the movie. This is not like Mission Impossible. Moreover, it is definitely not Mission Impossible. As you saw in the video, this is a new way of how Apereo wireless locks can be configured. Now, you might know Apereo locks or heard about them, but I assume there are also here in the audience who might not heard about them. This is Assa Abloy's online real-time wireless locks portfolio, where Apereo locks needs to be an integrated part of an access control system, such as Impro Access Control, which is already integrated. The locks can read more than 14 different types of RFID and mobile credentials, including DESFire, COS, and HID Mobile, just to mention a few. Also, there are a number of features allowed to tailor-made the locks operation in every system. In order to do the customization on site, you need a configuration software and tool, and Apereo installer is a new way of how they can be configured. You can see some screenshots and highlights here. This is a modern and secure way of configuring Apereo V3 products, the current portfolio, from this year onwards. There's no need for special hardware tool, no need to install any software on PC. This is designed for laptops internet browse use, but it can be different, almost every type of browser, internet browser. Software is always up to date, thanks to the cloud, of course, and also you will see this is part also of mobile applications. That is also updated, and depending on our mobile setting, it will be automatically updated on the mobile devices. And it shows different device configuration, task, and status to help installation management and flow, collect diagnostics data. There's no more encryption key request or search where it is. No need for any data backup. This is ensured by the solution. And then just to mention some more important thing, that whenever you upgrade the firmware of an Apereo device, it makes it 3 times faster as before. Now, after the highlights, let's see the process and the activities. As all security system, it starts with planning, end user discussions, requirement clearance, and then in case of successful closed sales, then the actual installation work can start. Using the security plans, Apereo installer web app is needed with an engineer who has good knowledge of the Apereo products. This is called the preparation phase, and during this, the configuration files of all Apereo products in the project will be created. All you need is a notebook or a computer, internet connection, and access to the application. Depending on the size of the project, this can be done at once, if it's just a few locks. But imagine a system with 200-300 locks, where also the mounting, the installation also would take days and weeks. So this could be done in phases, anytime up to the available resources. Once it's done, there in the cloud, we have the installers and engineers who will do the actual configuration on site. For this, they need a mobile application. Currently, Android is available only, but soon iOS will follow. Just use Google Play or the App Store for Apple to download the app. The app will synchronize with the cloud and gets the configuration data for the site. The mobile phone's BLE will be used then to transfer the configurations to the real physical products. Also, data is collected during this and can also be collected later for diagnostics, which then sent for diagnostics purposes. And then this will be sent to the cloud and accessible via the web application again. Now, as a reminder, Apereo's currently used configuration tool is called a PAP tool. It is a Windows-based application, and there is a need also for an Apereo specific radio dongle and USB cable. Now let's see what's the new tool Apereo installer offers. So, diagnostics stored in the cloud. This is a semi-automatic. Automatic encryption key assignment to meet with the latest security requirements. Prompt access to config data for example, an unplanned service call by the nearby engineer, just get access, download the site information and can visit the site in no time. A product orientation following standard floor plan, which is always available during the new installation, and then just having the same building floor, maybe area structure in the application. Clear and real-time site work status. So the lead engineer out of anywhere can log into the cloud and check exactly how many products have been already configured out of the total, or which products are actually configured. It helps managing the site. It helps also issuing invoices, if that's the agreement. Well, we introduced a couple of new things like visual identification of our hubs. This is the radio device communicating our wireless logs, and from here the hub is communicating with the access control system via wired IP, for example, connection. But then they are mounted like 3-5 meters on the ceiling. During configuration, they are clearly state with the LED blinking that the unit you are talking or communicating is really the one you really want to configure. And last but not least, I mentioned our current tool is running on a Windows PC. Well, Windows PC usually the notebooks are running out of battery very fast. And then if you are running this on Apereo installer mobile application, well, it can get the battery drain, but during a lunchtime, it could drain again half day, 50% power back. This is absolutely superior comparing to a notebook capabilities on recharging batteries. Okay, so more security, always uniquely encrypted. There's no need to remember that. This is done automatically. The users are managed by the site. The management, the lead engineer can assign time periods for the installer teams who are responsible for project A, project B, what are their what are their access time to the configuration data. And then there are no hidden or rogue changes possible because of this user management. Another new feature, automatic pairing based on the security plan, and then it's pre-selected which lock need to be paired to which hub, and during configuration this takes per lock 5 to 10 seconds, and it's automatic. It doesn't have to do an extra work. Well, direct product configuration one-on-one via BLE. There is also a possibility to firmware management. It means that someone can set a certain level of firmware, and then if it's needed, the product will be upgraded automatically. If it's not needed, it will be skipped, so saving time. And just maybe the last one I'd like to highlight from this slide, the firmware upgrade. Whoever already have experience with our Apereo products and experienced also the firmware upgrade, we are currently with the PUB tool taking 8 minutes or up to even 16 minutes to upgrade one lock or one hub. With the PUB tool, this goes down to 2-3 minutes with the new tool and the BLE, which allows us to make this speed up. Okay, well, you can ask, why would you start to use Apereo installer? I hope you found the previous shown features pleasing. These are all pluses comparing to the current tool. We are continue developing this tool and adding more and more features. But as a nutshell, you will use your mobile with a modern and secure solution. No need for any special tool, and your mobile is usually with you as an installer. You will complete jobs with minimum or no errors because it's prepared in a calm condition by a person who really knows Apereo. And then, of course, the same person can do the installation with a mobile application as well. There's no limit on that. Hopefully, this will result more happy or happier customers. And then, well, at the end, you will have more time to do another business. Spend it with your family or spend it on your hobbies. It's up to you where to use the extra time you gain. Okay, this is my last slide for today. After this introduction, this was very brief. I think together with the video, I hope you get some more information, some more details, but please feel free to contact with your local ASSA ABLOY office to get invitation for a dedicated training and access to this tool. And with this, I thank you very much for your attention for today. And I hope you are going to have a happy use of Aperion installer.
All right. Thank you very much, Laszlo, and thank you to all my speakers. We have gone over the allocated time, and unfortunately, we will not be able to do the live Q&A. However, if you may still have any questions, please drop them in the Q&A function. Alternatively, we will be available on info@impro.net. As we have come to the end of today's launch of Primo version 2025.2, I'd like to take a moment to extend my sincere gratitude to everyone involved. Firstly, to our speakers, Hamish, thank you very much for guiding us through the new features of this release. Laszlo, thank you very much for sharing your valuable insights on the Aperion installer. And of course, Linda from HID, thank you for your perspective on the HID Amico readers and its role in access control. To the Impro team working behind the scenes, thank you for ensuring that the launch is successful, as well as AccuSpecs. Thank you all for taking the time to share your expertise and helping us to bring today's discussions to life. To our audience who've joined us today from across the globe, thank you for your time, your attention, and your participation. Your engagement is what drives us to keep innovating, and we hope you found this session insightful. We will be sharing a recording of today's webinar along with the supporting resources so that you can revisit the content and share it with your teams. Should you have any further questions, please don't hesitate to reach out to us on info@impro.net. On behalf of the entire Impro team, thank you once again for being part of today's launch. We look forward to seeing you at our future events. Thank you and take care and God bless.